Hello and welcome to Take Time. I am your host, Patrick Marlette, and let's talk about the brand new Zelos Mako Bronze. Now, if you guys follow my Instagram page, you know I have bronze on the brain. I've been buying up a lot of bronze and brass watches from my personal collection, and I've also been sent in a handful for review. And today I have a real awesome one in by Zelos. This is the Zelos Mako 500 Bronze in cobalt blue. I have a handful of bad things to state, as well as a lot of good things. Now, Zelos is not foreign to Take Time. As a matter of fact, I reviewed the Zelos Hammerhead 1000 meter diver in titanium with a cobalt blue finish as well. If you haven't checked out that two-part review, I highly advise you to do so. It'll give you a good sense of what the packaging is like on these Zelos purchases. But also as a special thank you for the 5,000 subscribers we reach here on YouTube, I'm holding a special giveaway over on Instagram for the Zelos Hammerhead. So if you'd like to find out how to win a Zelos Hammerhead in titanium, you have till the end of the month to join me over on Instagram. Check out the 6-page preview image of this watch and read in the description how to win this item. Now back to the review item in question. Zelos was kind enough to gift this Mako 500 to the channel, so I'd like to thank them personally for sending this my way. Again, I highly appreciate your support. You guys are doing a great thing. This was a hotly requested item for review because of its more favorable scale as opposed to the Hammerhead titanium I previously reviewed. And noting that it's a gift, of course, you guys can take any of my opinions worth a grain of salt, but as you know, I like to be brutally honest on this show, and I've got some things to state about this watch regarding the dial face. And if you are new to the channel, I like to start with the bad and then move on to the good before giving my final verdict on a review item. So let's talk Zelos. So the Zelos Mako 500 is, of course, bronze, and it is a particular type of bronze. It's CUSN8, which is an industry standard for this bronze material. There are different types of bronze you can get, but this is what they consider marine grade bronze. It should last you a lifetime. The case itself measures 40 millimeters in width with a 46 millimeter lug-to-lug distance. It is 13.5 millimeters thick, sans the crystal, and roughly 16 millimeters thick when incorporating that 2.5 millimeter thick boxed sapphire crystal. You have a 20 millimeter lug width, and on the interior of this watch, we have a Sellita SW200. Also note that the case material for the case back isn't clearly indicated on their website, but I presume it is stainless steel. It looks and feels just like every other stainless steel case back I've seen. There are 5 color combinations for the bronze Mako, 2 of which are actually already sold out by the taping of this video. Unfortunately, this is one of those models. But there are still launch prices available for the rest of their range from $429 to $569. And the launch price is only valid up until June 15th. So if you are interested in picking one of these up after the review, I would suggest hitting the link in the description. I will, of course, lead you to their page showcasing all 5 of these models, as again, the launch price for this is already sold out. Along with every Mako 500, you'll receive a roll bag along with a handy cigar box that it is encased in. And inside, you're going to receive your warranty card, obviously, as well as an additional waxed leather strap. Now, this is actually my first bad note, not the roll bag itself. Actually, the roll bag's quite nice, but the waxed leather strap that came inside the roll bag doesn't have its own buckle. Now, they've helped you alleviate this issue by providing you a buckle with the Tropic rubber strap, and of course they provided you a spring bar removal tool that also doubles as a buckle removal tool in this instance, and you can replace the buckle on the Tropic strap onto this one. Now, I know some of you watched my Hammerhead titanium review. You'll note that I didn't receive a single buckle with that setup. You are supposed to receive at least one buckle accompanying your watch. Obviously, that's how you're going to wear this one. Don't expect to. This is just how they market these watches. Whether it's a cost-cutting procedure, I don't know. It's a shame. It'd be cool to get 2 bronze buckles so that you can mix and match them with different accessories and always have one on your watch, but you'll only receive the 1 buckle, and that's a shame. It's a minor bad note, but when you see the buckle, you'll understand why you want 2 of them. It's an awesome custom buckle, and despite the Zelos signature on it, I would use it on other watches. It is one of the coolest buckles I've ever seen. But before we get to those good notes, I do want to mention one final bad note, and that is with the dial. Now, I do like how they delineate the 3, 9, and 12 o'clock position with the addition of the applied triangle lume marker, but I dislike the minute lume markings around the outside of the main dial. Now, while the additional lume pip surrounding the hour markings is nice for legibility in low light, it busies the dial and overcomplicates it in my opinion. And the dial itself is already rather busy. You have that minute track with the minute markings as well as numerals indicating the precise minute around them. Of course, you have those hour markings as well, and then you have this crazy, beautiful wave pattern that emanates from the center of the dial and grows texturally as it reaches the outside of that main dial face. It's also in a sun ray finish, which further complicates the dial in a sense. There's a lot of different designs going on here. I think those added additions of those lume pips are just unnecessary. And this is a compliment to their looming process. The lume on those hour markers is more than enough to actually illuminate the minute track on the outside. So I never really found myself needing to look at those lume pips on the dial for the precise minute. Also, the minute hand covers up those lume pips, so it makes them hard to read anyways. And the minute hand does such a good job of pointing to the minute markers on the minute track that it's just an unnecessary design feature. Now, I love seeing these watches lit up. It's kind of their specialty, but it was just a little redundant here. I don't think we need them. It busies the dial too much for me. Now, of course, that's a matter of opinion. I know some of you are going to love the addition of lume plots. I'm not a person who necessarily cares for lume on a watch. As a matter of fact, I prefer my watches to have no lume. You just can't have that with dive watches. They're always going to feature some form of luminance, but this one might have been just a little overkill for me. But while we're looking at the dial, there is one more thing I wanted to note, and it's that there's nothing to delineate 6 o'clock on the dial aside from the date window, and there's plenty of room down there between those lume plots, the minute track, and the date window itself to have added a small, perhaps bronze-toned hour marking indicating 6 o'clock. I think that was a slight design cue miss. It would have been nice to have something there indicating 6. Now, aside from those two minor niggles, this watch is really awesome. Honestly, everything from the movement to its current price, its full MSRP rating is going to be $799. That's still a good deal for what you're getting. The case materials to the scale, really everything is perfect on the Mako. The Tropic rubber strap here reminds me a whole lot of my favorite Tropic strap, which is the Zulu Diver I own. And the only thing that distinguishes it from the Zulu Diver is the lack of that delicious aroma that strap has, that sort of vanilla grape scent I've mentioned before. If you haven't seen that review, of course, I'll leave a link to that, but this is extremely similar to that strap, and I wouldn't be surprised if it was manufactured in the same place. So you have a top-notch strap, you also have an awesome custom buckle, and this is what I mean. Oh, God, I really wish I had another one of these to throw on my Christopher Ward or any number of my other bronze watches because this is just so awesome. I love the beveled edge here, that sharp defined line with high polish, and the brush strokes on these buckles. These are really awesome. I love this touch. I'm glad they didn't go with something basic. They went with something to complement the unique design of this watch case. Speaking of the finishing and detailing on this watch case are really top notch. Really, it's actually a step above the hammerhead I showcased before, which is surprising because this comes in at a lower rate. This is really one of their best products, one of the best products I've seen from Zelos, that is. And you can see the level of detailing here. Again, you've got that matching beveled edge that's featured on the buckle, on the lugs, and it's got a nice defined high polish accent there. There's brushing all around, and it's just a really, really dramatic and beautiful look with the lugs that I quite like. I also like the addition of the body continuing out to meet the strap. I think this is a really favorable look for tool watches. It's a step between having nothing between the case and the lugs and having a shrouded look. I sort of like this half shroud feature. It makes the strap, whatever that strap is, fit the watch aesthetically that much better. I think it's nicer than having a gap between the strap and the body. The 120 click bezel is accurate and deliberate. There are no QC issues here with alignment. It lines right up on the mark as you turn it with little to no backplay. I'm really surprised with the fit finishing of a lot of these micro brands nowadays. Everyone is tightening up their game to make a higher end product. And this bezel, I'm a huge fan of. Certainly better than some other dive watches I've had in the past. And while we're taking in the main feature of this watch, which is arguably the dial, it is one of the most beautiful pattern dials I've ever seen. I love this take on the wave aesthetic. I think this is a great looking dive watch, especially in cobalt blue. This is the color option I would choose. As a matter of fact, I did choose. This is the way to go, in my opinion. I do like the other dial configurations, but this is really just gorgeous. I should note that depending on the model you receive, you'll get either a bronze or ceramic bezel insert. So again, top grade material. And also a really awesome handset on this watch. I love that cattail seconds hand with the red tip so that your eye is immediately drawn to the precise second. Of course, this movement hacks and hand winds. It's essentially you're at a 28-24. So if you don't know what that means, it's got a nice high beat rate, not, high beat, but 28-800 is definitely nice and smooth to watch. And it also features a date at the 6 o'clock, which is my favorite position. And I love that the date wheel itself is a nice deep blue to match the dial. So it just vanishes when you don't need it. When you do need it, you look down there, you know what day it is. Date, I should say date, although I would love a day just. That needs to be a feature on some watch. Zelos, if you're listening, make the day just Mako 500. I will scoop up all of them. Now, before I give you my final verdict on this watch, of course, I want to show you what it looks like on my wrist. And I've had such a swell time with this watch. It's interesting experiencing a bronze watch because you don't realize how quickly they age. But I've only had this watch. It's been less than a month now. And this thing is aged, not dramatically yet, but you'll start to notice edges of it brown much sooner than other edges. And the whole thing is just going to get eclipsed by a beautiful brown patina. And it's exciting to watch. But here is that watch, the Mako 500 on a 7¼ inch wrist for all of your admirers. And when you are going to admire it, it's going to look a little something like this. And here is the Mako 500 bronze on my 7¼ inch wrist. And again, the scale is much more favorable than the hammerhead I showed you guys before. And I don't even mind that the thickness is right around 16 millimeters. It's really not that noticeable. The boxed sapphire crystal has a nice vintage feel to it, as they've suggested on their site, and does add a bit of height, but because it is a crystal, you're not that much more aware of the added height when you're looking down at the dial and you're looking at the profile of this watch on the wrist. And while we're looking at the watch on my wrist, I want you guys to know that the crown is actually slightly recessed inside the body. It's not too difficult to reach, but it is a smaller crown, so do be aware that when you're trying to access that, it might be an issue for some if you have larger hands like mine. Now, so far as a verdict is concerned on the Zelos Mako 500 in bronze, I don't think this package can be beat. If you're looking to get your first bronze watch, your next bronze watch, this is the way to go, especially at these launch prices that they're currently at. Again, up until June 15th, this is a phenomenal option for those looking to get a unique dive watch. The choice of bronze material here should last you a lifetime, and it will age beautifully over the course of that life. This is currently my favorite model range from Zelos, and I'm just really excited to see what they come out with next. Zelos, thank you for sending this my way so I can share it with my audience. You really hit a home run with this model. And guys, if you enjoyed this video and were interested in getting the Mako, if you found this enlightening or the least entertaining, feel free to hit that like button. It looks a little something like this guy. If you have friends, forums, or groups that are interested in picking up a bronze watch, if they're new to the watch market, have been seeing the trend arise, and were interested in getting one, these at that launch price are excellent value for money. I know that is the number one conversation topic that pops up on this channel. Is it worth the cost? And I hate to make every video tailored towards that because it's such a subjective topic. It's really worth whatever you're willing to pay for it. But I think just across the board for the material options here, everything as I stated, this is really good value for money. Again, at that launch price. And I have to say the machining is really top notch here. I don't think you're going to be disappointed with this one. And I'm told their customer service is great as well. I've only been dealing with one individual through all my transactions. She has been awesome. Thank you, Hillary, if you're watching this, again, for sending this my way. But guys, if you wanted to share this video with someone interested in the Zelos Mako line, feel free to do so. Also, if you're new to the channel, welcome. I do videos like this twice a week. I'm hoping to bump that number up to 3, but I won't know to do so without your support. So if you enjoy content like this and you want to see me produce more watch-related videos, feel free to hit that subscribe button. That'll let me know you guys are definitely there for the show. Also, if you want to see videos precisely when they air, you can hit the bell icon next to that, and you'll be alerted via email when they do. Again, my name is Patrick Marlette, and thank you for the time.